April the 3rd, 1973, the streets of New York, and Martin Cooper makes the world's first mobile phone call.
Okay, bye. Nice talking to you. Who invented the cell phone? I mean, we use it every day for multiple things. We can surf the web, play on apps, play games, read books, do all kinds of things. But who invented it? Let's find out who invented the cell phone. Let's see. Telecommunications pioneer Martin Cooper, 74-year-old, is the father of the mobile phone. It's all down to an event that took place on a pavement in Midtown Manhattan on April 3rd, 40 years ago. Wow. With traffic whizzing by and the New Yorkers bustling past, Marty stuck a kilo weight of plastic, housing all manner of wires and circuits, to his ear and started talking to it. Does that look anything or sound anything like this? No. Let's see. Becoming the first person to ever place a public call on a handheld cellular telephone. Wow. Martin Cooper says, the time was late 1960s. There was one telephone company in the U.S. There's like thousands now today. One in Britain and one in Japan. Japan's like way high-tech than us. Like way more. Can you believe they only had one? Let's see, and so forth. In our case, it was AT&T, and they were the largest company in the world. They had invented this thing called cellular. They invented car telephones. Can you imagine? Wow, what would life be without this? I talk on it every day. We believe people didn't want to talk to cars and that people wanted to talk to other people. I know I do. The only way that we, at Motorola, this little company, could prove this to be the world was to actually show people we could build a cellular telephone, a personal telephone, something that would represent an individual so that you could assign a number not to a place, not to a desk, not to a home, but to a person. Cool. That's awesome. Hello, Lucille? Yes, I'd like to make a call to Mary Cooper, please. That is Marty Cooper's mom. This is a phone used by my great-great-grandmother. It was installed in the late 40s, and it is called a wall phone. It is very old. It was one of the first phones invented, and this is the speaker for it. State 3971 was my great-grandmother's phone number, which today would be 788-3971. This is a rotary phone, which was invented in 1891, and you use the dials to spin to do the numbers. Arthur and Mary Cooper are the parents of Martin Cooper. He was born in 1928 on December 26th in Chicago, Illinois. Marty Cooper was a tinkerer from an early age. Marty Cooper was a tinkerer from an early age. He says, I'd been taking things apart, inventing things since I was a little kid. I still have memories as a child, really trying to understand how things work. Marty Cooper graduated from the Institute of Technology in Illinois. In 1955, Marty Cooper enlisted in the U.S. Naval Reserves, serving on destroyers and a submarine. His first job was the Teletype Corporation of Chicago, which made the units, provided remote controls, communicators, services, and media outfits. This is the bag phone. It was one of the very first phones. In 1954, Marty Cooper joined the Motorola Corporation. He earned his master's degree in electrical engineering from the Illinois Institute of Technology 3 years later in 1957. At Motorola, he was assigned to the division that was working on the first portable handheld police radios, which were introduced in Chicago in 1967. By then, he had advanced to the position of operations director, and over the next 9 years, he made his most significant contribution to the future of mobile communications while serving the company. Marty Cooper made the first phone call on the Motorola Dynatac, aka the Brick. It was 9 inches tall, 2.5 pounds, with 30 circuit boards, and he could talk for 35 minutes, and it took 10 hours to charge. This is a brick. So imagine talking to this, and this thing is really heavy. So how would you feel if you carried this brick around all day? Marty Cooper's first conversation on the first portable cell phone was to Joel Engel from Bell Labs, his competitor.
April the 3rd, 1973, the streets of New York, and Martin Cooper makes the world's first mobile phone call.
Joel, I'm calling you from a real cellular telephone, a portable handheld telephone. That was the conversation between Martin Cooper and his competitor, Joe Engel from Bell Labs. This is the bag phone. Look how big and awkward it is to carry around. Notice how the phones get smaller, but the screens get bigger. But then they get smaller and smaller and smaller. But now today, our smartphones are getting bigger and bigger. Now, instead of just being able to call or text, we can have touch screens and touch our phones.
Mobile telephony was that people would be free. Freedom was our basic issue. The safety aspect was very important to us. We had no idea that things like Facebook and Twitter and all these other concepts would ever happen. So no, the total social implications were really beyond our scope of understanding. Our belief was that someday everybody in the world would have a cellular telephone. In fact, we had a joke that said that in the future, when you were born, you would be assigned a telephone number, and if you didn't answer the phone, you were dead.
And thank you, Marty Cooper, for my cell phone.